Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 18th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a few things here to update. And we should be good to go. All right. Looks good. Perfect. So let me have this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link sent out. All right, perfect. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Let's see. I'm not going to mark up too much. Let's mark up whatever's nearby. Down to the 2 hour. So you guys can see here that the market hasn't really moved very much since yesterday. Reason for that is because a lot of people are just sitting out the market until the interest rate news comes out later today, 11. So the consolidation here is pretty heavy. We'll see if we actually get some movement here on open. If we don't get a lot of movement, then this might be another day where I might have to make some adjustments to the to our breakout entry. Meaning like moving stop loss and profit. I typically don't move stop loss and profit. I just let it, I set and forget it. But you guys will see if it's similar to like how it was yesterday. All right, so we got a lot of liquidity on both sides, mainly because there hasn't been much movement since Asia session. So looking at this here, we have liquidity sitting above at 42,097. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity sitting up there. We also have liquidity down below at 42,072 and some more liquidity down here at 42,044. So I guess I guess we'll just wait and see what happens here next. But other than that, there's not really much here to work with. So we'll see what happens here when market opens, guys. One thing that I've made some adjustments to with regard to the market flow V2s is that I found my sweet spot to be around 740 to 7. So I think what I'm going to do for today is I'm going to wait till 640 because that's typically when the 640 is typically when the volatility starts to kind of smoothen out. And then I'll just look for my entries between 640 and 7. And also for the market flow V2s, I'm going to be using whole numbers for entry now. So like it's going to be more similar to a momentum pullback scalp. So I kind of just have my levels lined up here. So when price does retrace up, I'll just look for the closest whole number near the pivot. We'll pivot one, of course, and that's where I'll be looking for my entry. So just a heads up, um, so that you guys have an idea of like what I'm looking for. So let's see what we got over here. So the SR chart. Again, like I said, there's not going to be much here to work with because of the choppiness, of course. But we'll see what we can work with here. Steps both ways. All right, so I've marked up the zones over here for the SR zones. But again, it's just consolidating, ranging throughout these areas here. We got market opening up in about 40 seconds, guys. Put this over here. So guys, in the Zoom chat, I put where the breakout's going to be for the day. Just gave you guys a little heads up there. First level of liquidity right here got hit pre-market. Oh, hey, Kevin, you're here. Hey, Kevin, congrats on your new baby. So Kevin here just had his baby girl born, I think 2 days ago, right? Yeah, you've been gone for a while. I didn't realize you hopped on for the day. But yeah, no, today interest rates are going to be released. So market's kind of going sideways for a bit, but the volatility was pretty high on Monday and Tuesday. So yeah, welcome back. Kev, didn't realize you were there. So the breakout for today is going to be a buy, guys. We got market opening up here in about 30 seconds. And you can see from the market here, it didn't really move very much. Maybe some open manipulation here. So let's see, we got market opening up in about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open. So I got this set up right here. We're obviously going to get some volatility, some possible manipulation here. Left on the 5-minute. There's just too much noise here. So let me make sure everything here is set properly. This will be at 59. So this is kind of what we're expecting. We're expecting a lot of manipulation because we have the interest rate news coming out today, guys. So price will probably be manipulated to the downside and then correct back up later. For the breakout, like I said, I'm not taking this on all my accounts. I'm only taking it on my top step account with low risk. This is probably gonna hit stop loss. If it does, it's fine. I was expecting this manipulation to happen today anyways. For the scalp entries over here, guys, all liquidity here got hit. So the lower levels of liquidity here at 42,044 got hit, 42,041. All levels right here are done with. For the scalp entries, I will be looking for entries between 6:40 and 7 o'clock. So I did a lot of back testing yesterday and just it seemed like the proper areas where like the market starts to stabilize, because typically what we'd have to do is wait for the market here to stabilize a little bit. And what I've noticed is that, after the first 10 minutes, usually the market's done kind of being manipulated. And then from there, I can look for some entries between 640 and 7. So I don't think there's any other news events for today, aside from the interest rates that are going to be released later. We had news pre-market here at 5:30. So that's one of the news events that came out. I'll mark that up. That was positive. So let me go here and mark this up over here. So it looks like the breakout didn't play out for today, guys, which is fine. I was kind of, I was expecting a spike in either direction. I was hoping for it to be bullish, but price spiked down. Again, for that entry, I only took it on my top step. Lost about 1,400 on that, which is not too bad. Typically on that trade, I'm looking to make or lose 1,500. It is a breakout entry. So it happens every day on the open. The only way for me to know if it's working or not is if I take it. So unfortunately, that was a loss there for the breakout. But for the scalp entries, I'll be looking for some entries right here at 640. So we had news over here at 5:30. I'll mark that up real quick. Expect a lot of manipulation to happen today. This is like the big day everybody's been waiting for pretty much all year. It's the interest rate day. The interest rates are going to be released at 11 o'clock, so it's going to be a little later today. There's news at 7:30. It's a normal gas stock change, so it's nothing too crazy. I'll just mark up 7 o'clock here so I have an idea of like where I'm going to be done trading. So once I hit 640 over here, guys, I'll start looking for entries. If you guys are familiar with the market flow V2s, obviously what I typically been taking, I'll be looking for price to retrace up from here, bounce off the pivot, come back down. My entries are going to be at the whole number. So I'll be probably turning on levels as we get closer to 640. Again, I'm not looking for any entries until 640. Lower levels liquidity right here just got hit, guys, at the 41,933. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing climbs all the way back up. I think this drop here is all manipulation for the interest rate news later today, because interest rate news is going to be bullish no matter what. The interest rate news here is going to be bullish no matter what. So you're going to see manipulation. Like any drop here that you see is probably going to be short term. News doesn't happen for like another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 5 hours. So it's not going to happen anytime soon. But any bearish movement is probably just pre-news manipulation for the interest rate news. That's going to be released later, because the interest rate news is going to be bullish no matter what. They're going to be cutting interest rates, so it's going to be good for the market. There's an entry right here for a market flow V2 if anybody decided to take it. Like I said, I'm going to wait until 640 because I'm waiting for the market here to kind of stabilize a little bit before I start looking for entries. But price did come up, bounce off the pivot right there. We had a sell momentum, and there was a possible entry right there for a market flow V2. Again, I'm just waiting until 640. I'm going to be patient. I got to follow my trading plan, obviously. Trading plan is 640. 640 to 7. 635 right now, still not time yet. Yeah, so here's an example of the market flow V2 that I mentioned with the whole number. So basically price was down here. My entry would have happened right here at the 42,000 mark. That's where I would have left my pending order. And then same with here. If I was taking this order, again, I would leave my pending order right there at the 42,000 mark. So price right there, you can see it filled it, came right back down to full TP. Again, 2 back-to-back market flow entries right there. If this buy signal closes, this is going to be done. There's not going to be any more market flow entries at this time. If the buy signal doesn't close, technically you can take another one right here. Looks like the buy signal is going to close. There's not going to be any more entries here for any sells, at least not at this very moment. Okay, so there's 2 back-to-back market flow V2 entries that came up right here on this red candle and then on this green candle. They both triggered, went straight to full TP. I'm looking for 640, so I'm waiting for 640 here to hit. When 640 comes up, I'll be looking for my entries here for the market flow V2s. In order for you to take a sell, you're going to need to have a new sell signal come up. Sell signal hasn't came up yet. So once it does come up, we'll be looking for the opportunity for entry there. But again, I'm waiting until 640. So basically 640 is my cue to start looking for some entries. And then I'll try to take as many entries as I can between 640 and 7. It gives me a 20-minute window to make entries. The more and more I've back tested and forward tested and identified entries for this specific strategy, I started to realize that it really is time-based. It's a time-based strategy because the volatility happens between 630 and 7, but between 630 and 640, you get a lot of market manipulation here. And then between from 640 up until 7, it's moving a bit smoother. All right, I'm just gonna wait. I got 3 more minutes here until 640. All right, 637. Still waiting for it. Six 38. 2 minutes here. Looking over here at the, okay, so looking at this over here at the sessions entries, guys. So if you guys remember this from, I mentioned this, I think 2 weeks ago. If this swings back up to the Asia low, possible entry right here for the session to session move. Looking over here at the SR zones, there's no zones down here. Yeah, it's pretty far down. You have the 1 hour zone right there. And there you can see how price bounced off the 1 hour zone below. I'll mark up some stuff on the clean chart a little later. There's not really much market structure here yet, so there's nothing for us to look at or take there. Looking over here at the main chart. So I'm looking for a sell signal here. In order for me to take any sells, I need to have a sell signal. Currently right now, we have a buy signal. But in order for me to take trades like this, I'd have to have price in a bullish trend. So there's no bullish trend right now. Markup opening price. Huge red candle right here. So again, like I said earlier, guys, expect a lot of market manipulation to happen today. Everyone's betting on the interest rate news. So they're basically betting on whether it's going to be a 25 basis point cut or 50-point basis cut. It might even be more. A lot of people were initially saying that 25 was like what it was going to happen, but now a lot of people are betting on it to be bigger. The problem with it being too big is that, it's going to be hard for the market to adjust to it, but the market is already expecting a big market cut. So you guys can see here, this was just manipulation for the drop. Unfortunately, we got caught in this manipulation for the breakout. Price got manipulated down pretty hard. Dropped about 130 points, and then it corrected back up. Like I said earlier, any drop to the downside, any heavy drop at least, is likely to be manipulation. It doesn't necessarily mean price is not going to drop or it can't come down, but a drop like this is obvious manipulation here pre-interest rate news. Everything is pointing for the market to go up, but of course, price is going to get manipulated before it actually does. So, all right, guys, it's 640 right here. I'm looking for a sell signal to come up. Once the sell signal comes up, I'll start looking for some entries over here for market flow V2s. So I need a sell signal here to come up. And once it does, I'll be looking to place my orders here for market flow. V2s, of course. All right, still no sell signal. The volatility here is actually getting a little flat. Sell signal might come on the next candle, it's looking like. So you got price coming down. There you go, the sell signal that I just mentioned. So I need that sell signal to close. Once the sell signal closes, I can start looking for some possible opportunities for market flow. Looks like the closest level right here will probably be around the 42,000 mark. Or sorry, not the 42,000 mark. Yeah, probably still around the 42,000 mark right there. So I would have to wait for that sell signal to close. Once it closes, I'll be looking to take possible opportunity here for entry. All right, so if the candle here closes with the sell signal, I'll be placing my pending sell order right there at the 42,000, not looking like it's going to close yet. So it hasn't closed yet. Looking for this next one here. It can be invalid as well. It doesn't have to be a valid sell signal. It can be invalid. Volatility is like a little too flat now. I was hoping it still move pretty same, but looks like it's starting to flatten out. I just got to be patient. Like I said, this is usually where the sweet spot is for entry. So I'll be waiting for the sell signal here to close. Once it closes, I'll be looking to take my entry. So again, right there, it's probably going to close at this point. No, probably the next candle again. All right, if this is the case and it closes invalid. So here's the thing. In order for me to take this market flow, I need price to actually be below the pivots, right? So if it closes up right here and it's invalid, I have to wait for it to pull back down, retrace, continue down lower. So just keep that in mind, guys. This is why I was okay with it closing invalid, because if it closed invalid, I could still take my entry right there and then write it down. But because it pushed up past the pivots, now again, I have to wait for this here to provide the sell signal. Let's see, question from Glenn. Glenn is asking, is the 639 candle a valid entry? No, there's no sell signal yet, Glenn. So you can't take a market flow unless there's a sell signal, whether you're taking a regular market flow or market flow V2, you need a sell signal because you're trading in the direction of momentum. There's no sell signal yet, so you can't take any trades in that direction since there's no momentum going that way. That's why we're waiting for the sell signal first. The sell signal is going to it's going to provide the direction of momentum. So like once you have the sell signal there, you can catch it as it retraces up and fills your order. But there's no sell signal yet, so there's nothing here to take. There's still a buy signal here. So in order for us to take these buys, we need price to actually push above and climb up higher. But yeah, quick answer to your question is no, there's no entry here yet. Trend is bearish. So in order for us to have that confirmation of actual direction with the trend, we need to have the momentum close. It's probably going to come on this next candle, not this one, but probably the next one here. I know there's a lot of lines on the chart, guys, but this just makes things a lot easier to see where the see if I can minimize this a little bit. It doesn't really make a difference. Let's leave it at 20. All right, so the sell signal is probably going to come on the next candle here. There we go. So we got the pending sell signal there again. If this candle here does close, the market flow will be at the 42 still right here. Volatility here is still very, very slow. Might drop down to the 90 right here. This continues to drop lower. We really just need that volatility to push it far enough so that we can get that sell signal. Once we have the sell signal, everything will start to flow a little better. Okay, so the entry might happen right here at the 90 mark now. But again, we need the sell signal first. Sell signal still has not closed, guys. Once that sell signal closes, I'll be placing my pending order right here at the 90 mark. If it drops any lower, we might drop it down to the 80. But right now, ideally, it's going to be right here at the 90 mark. But again, we need that sell signal here to close. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep trailing it. So I'll trail it here at the 90. If the pivots drop down to the 80, then I'll move it down to the 80. If it drops down further, I'll drop it down to the 70. But the main thing here that we're looking for is going to be that sell signal. We got 10 seconds left. All right, so I'm going to put my pending order right there at the 90 mark. We got the sell signal right there. It was invalid, but I have my order pending right there. Order's now filled.
Order filled.
It's coming down right there. Full TP right there, guys. So full TP on the first market flow entry. I'm going to be putting another one right there for the next candle. So full TP on the first entry. Be looking for the next one here again. If it drops any lower, we're going to drop it down to the 80. The next entry might happen right here at the 80.
Order submitted.
All right, so the next one's going to be right here. I think the 80 might be a little too close. Bring it back to the 90. So I brought my order back to the 90 over here, guys. The 80 was just a little too close. I'll bring it back down to the 80 on the next candle. So once this candle closes, I'll bring it back down to the 80. Got to be closest to the pivot. Move the order back down to the 80 right there. So it's currently at the 80. If price continues to drop lower, may have to drop down to the 70 right here. So I'm basically just moving it to the whole number that's closest to the green pivot. Daniel is asking what, so I have it set to chart, how it always is, Daniel, with a trend meter. You might have it set to the default settings, which is the intraday settings, which is kind of far off. All right, so price is dropping pretty heavy now. I don't really like the volatility. I'm going to cancel my order right now. I think this is going to be manipulated pretty soon. I just don't like how the market's moving today. Obviously, you can see the manipulation is pretty obvious. I'm just worried that this is going to spike up. So if you want to take the entry, you can still take the entry. The entry would be right here at the 70 mark. I canceled my order, so I'm not going to be taking it. But the entry would be right here at the 70 mark. I feel like some sort of manipulation is going to happen right here, and I'd rather be safe than sorry, especially on a day like this for the interest rates. It's just a little tricky with these entries. On a regular day, this would be smooth. Like this entry right here was perfect. This one came up, barely went into any drawdown at all, literally came straight down to its full TP. So our first entry right here happened. I'll take a screenshot of that a little later. But there was like literally no drawdown on that entry. I think we got in at the 90 up here. It's perfect. All right, we got about 9 minutes till 8. I'm gonna let the market here kind of stabilize a little bit before I start looking for any more entries. Again, I just want to be careful because I'm looking at this right here. This is what scared me because we have two huge wicks right here off the liquidity. And you can see the last time price touched liquidity like that, it spiked all the way up for some manipulation to the upside. So that's why I was worried about getting into any entries here at this very moment. So I'll wait and see if anything else here comes up. If nothing here comes up from now until 7, then I'll keep looking for entries, but I'm going to be done entering on my own accounts around that time. I think there's going to be even more manipulation tomorrow, guys. So just keep that in mind. Tomorrow, the market's probably going to be even more manipulated because people are going to be reacting to the interest rate news. I mean, today's pretty, you can see the manipulation here is pretty obvious. Big spike, correction, big spike. But I think tomorrow's going to be even crazier. I think tomorrow's going to be all over the place, like worse than today. All right, so price is still not filled yet. So there's another opportunity right here for a market flow V2 if you guys are looking to take it. The entry is going to be right here at the 960 mark. If price drops any further, it just keeps dropping lower and lower. So basically what we're looking for here is we're just catching the retracement, bounce, retracement, bounce, retracement, bounce. That's how the market flow entries work. It's exactly what it's called, right? Market flow, because you're going with the flow of market. Price comes down, retracement, come down, retracement, come down, retracement. Every time price retraces, you're looking to catch that entry right there. I started using the whole numbers because it's just a lot easier to just set the order than having to like put it randomly in random places since the pivots still kind of move a little bit. So again, if you're looking for the entry here, it's going to be at the 50 mark now. If price climbs up any higher, it's going to be back at the 60 mark up here. You basically want it to be closest to wherever the green pivot is. If the green pivot swings up a little bit, then obviously you want to be a little bit closer to the upper side. And if not, if it comes down lower, like for example here, the pivot is right at this line right here, right, which is the 50 mark. So this is where the next market flow V2 is going to be setting up at. But again, this area right here, you want to be careful because this is a manipulated area, right? The sessions right here is where price tends to get manipulated. So I'm not going to take any more right now. I'll just wait to see if there's anything here that kind of clears up closer to 7. Right now, I'm just worried that price is going to be manipulated back to the upside. I mean, it can easily fill the order. So like what can happen here is price can fill the order and come right back down very quickly. But I'm not really looking to take those chances here on a day like this. If today was a regular trading day, perfect. I would go ahead and just take all the entries that I see between 640 and 7. Right now, there's actually only been one entry that's come up. So it's not like I missed anything here. I'm just being a little extra cautious because of where price is currently at. But realistically, nothing here is filled yet. So we got 5 minutes till 7. If you guys are still looking for entries, feel free to look. I'll keep marking up entries as they come along. The next entry point is going to be down here at the 40 mark. So far, there's only been one official market flow V2 entry, which is right here. If you wanted to take an original market flow entry, there's one that happened right here and one that happened right here. There's actually 2 of them that happened. So there's 2 market flow entries, regular market flow entries that came up, and then one market flow V2, which was up here. If you guys are still looking for entries at 6:55, there's still 5 minutes till 7. However, the volatility here is starting to get very, very low. So let me clean up this liquidity right here. There's another liquidity that's below. This is probably where price is going to push to. Right, the entry is still right there at the 40 mark, guys. So if you guys are looking to take entry, it's still right here at the 40. Hasn't filled yet. Hey, Steven, morning. All right, I'm just going to screenshot the trade from earlier today, just so that we have it in our data sheets. We got it right there at the 90. 90 at 648. I'll say a screenshot this right here. All right, so there still hasn't been any entries here for the market flow V2s. The volatility here is pretty much dead at the moment. Next entry point is going to be right here at the 30 mark now. So as you guys can see, I'm just trailing my entry down. So like if the entry doesn't get filled, you just trail it down a little further. So the next opportunity right there is at the 30 point 6:57 right now. So we've got 3 minutes till 7. I'm not really expecting this to get filled or get hit. So there's probably not going to be any more entries for me here between 6:40 and 7. I'll keep looking for entries between 7 and 8, but for me, I'm pretty much done trading for the day. So I have one small loss for the breakout, and then one small win for the market flow entry right here. So again, it hasn't filled yet, but if this does push up and come back down, there'd be an entry right there at the 30 mark. Didn't push up high enough. It got close to the entry, but not quite. Yeah, not quite. All right. So the market flow came up at 648. All right, so two entries for the day, the breakout and the market flow V2. If you guys want to trail your market flow entries, you can do that as well. For some reason, my trailing stop doesn't really work very well on my NinjaTrader, so I'm not really using the trailing stop anymore. I'm just getting in and out quickly when I have opportunity to get out. If a buy signal closes right here, there's no more entries for a sell, so you just cancel your order that you have pending right here. If you end up taking this entry, or if you're still taking entries, so it hasn't filled yet. But if that buy signal does close, there's no more entries for sells. So I would just cancel the order here at this point. No more entries for sells at this moment. All right, so once we get another sell signal, I'll come back and take a look for some more opportunities here for entry. But at this very moment, there's no entries for any sells. We have a buy signal right here. So in order for you to take the buys, you need the price to climb back up, provide entries up here. Otherwise, you're going to look for a sell signal and then look for some more entries down to the bottom side. All right, so I took one trade for the day. Oh shit. I didn't realize. Okay, I made a little mistake here, but it was a good mistake on my end. I accidentally put too big of a contract size for my, and I'll show you guys right now. Let me screenshot my profits. So for a couple of my accounts here, I think I made this mistake. I double typed in the contract size because you guys will see my profits. My profits are like 10 times on let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on about 7 of my other accounts. Whoops, I didn't realize that. All right, I'll post my profits over here for that. And let me post the profits over here or my loss. All right. So here's my loss for the day for the breakout. And this is just me being transparent with you guys. You know, the breakout is not a high win rate strategy. This strategy is meant to be about break even if slight profit. So you guys can see my account here is still above 150,000. So I'm still in profit net on the account. We had one loss for the day right here. I lost 1,463. Typically, my wins will yield the opposite, right? So if I'm winning the trade, I'm making 1,400, 1,500. And if I'm losing the trade, I'm losing about 1,400, 1,500. So this strategy is meant to be like a break even type strategy. At the end of the week, you're supposed to be at net positive of 1 or around break even. Sometimes net positive 2, like last week, because it was a really good week. But this strategy is meant to go back and forth. So the breakout strategy is not meant to make you a lot of profit. It's just meant to make you consistent profit over the long term. Here are my profits for my Apex accounts. I only took one trade, but I only took one trade, but I made an accident with with a couple of my other accounts on my copier. I think I put the wrong contract size because you guys will see the profits here are slightly, they're not slight, they're very different. So I made about 250. These are all my other accounts. So this is the accounts that had the proper contract size. I made 250. That's what I was expecting to make. Every time I take a market flow V2, I aim to make about 250 per trade. For these over here, I made over 2,000. I think I just put the wrong contract size for these. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 accounts right here. Thankfully, there was no drawdown on this trade. There was no drawdown, so it literally went trigger and straight to full TP for my Apex accounts right here. So there's my 20 PA accounts. This might screw me a little bit because I don't know if this is going to trigger the consistency rule because typically I'm making like 250. And then for these accounts over here today, I made 2,800, 2,200. I guess there was some slippage right there too. Or I don't know I don't know what I did on this because I wasn't paying attention. So I don't know if these just didn't close out when it hit TP and it just kept dropping further. I think that might have been the case because it did continue dropping here. Or I don't know if I put the wrong contract size, but something happened here with these 7 accounts where either the TP didn't close it out and it just kept dropping and I just ended up flattening it out later, or the wrong contract size. It looks like it might have been like these just didn't close out and they kept dropping further. Because this thing dropped, let's see, I got out at 10 points. So I got in right here and so the other accounts got out at 10 points, which was right there. And price actually dumped like 10 times that. So I think that might have been the case. But I mean, worked out in my favor. So yeah, there's my profits for the day. Technically, it was supposed to be 250 times 21. So I made about like, this is where I was supposed to make. I was supposed to make 5,250, but because I made the bigger profits over here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 14,000 plus whatever's down here. But yeah, so whenever I take the market flow V2s, guys, this is how much profit I'm expecting to make per trade. So that's why you can see here, I'm okay with taking the low hanging fruit. I just look for the entry between 640 and 7. Usually I'll get about like 2 or 3 entries that come up. So for example, if I have one entry and it's a win, I make 5,250. If I have 2 entries, I can make about 10,000. And then if I have 3 entries, I can make about 15,000. So you guys can see like this is why I'm okay with taking these smaller trades because this is how much I'm anticipating on making off that trade. So All right, I'll keep looking for some more entries here. There's nothing here yet. We need to get a sell signal in order for us to take any more sells. In order for us to take some buys, I need price to actually push up higher. So you guys can see my logic behind like why I'm going back to my 1030 split. It just makes more sense. And then for me, I don't have to stress out throughout the session. I can just take my trades between 640 and I don't think you understand the strategy, Glenn. Because there's no, like I said earlier, you need a sell signal. There's no sell signal. It's the same question you had before. You're asking if this was an entry at 639. There's no entry here because there's no sell signal. You can't take any entries unless there's momentum in that direction. Same with this one right here. You're asking if 702 is an entry. There's no entry here because we need the sell signal in order for us to be trading in the direction of the trend. So all the strategies are always based off the trend. I don't counter trend trade. I mean, if you wanted to counter trend trade, you could, but that's just not how the strategy is supposed to be applied. I mean, either way, this still wouldn't be an entry at 702 because even if you were counter trend trading, you would still need the green pivot to be where price would come and touch, right? So you'd still need the green pivot to basically, I mean, technically, yeah, if you were just going off only the green pivot, but that'd be a completely different strategy. Maybe that's something that could be used in the future, but from like what I've tested, I think it's a little tricky to trade it in both directions. But yeah, short answer to your question is no, it wasn't entry. Now we have the sell signal here, and now we can start looking for entries again. If you guys are looking for entries. So if you guys are looking for entries here, the next entry would happen right here at the 50 mark. I'm not going to take it because I'm going to stick to my trading plan. So my trading plan is between 640 and 7. The next entry right here is going to be at the 950 mark. So not taking anything here. Yeah, no problem, Glenn. Yeah, it's based off the trend because you want to make sure that you have and it looks like this trade over here already hit, guys. Not sure if anybody took it. It looks like it triggered and then it went straight to TP. I wasn't able to see, but it looks like it did because of this little marker right there on the bottom. So there's no more entries here. So once that one right there is hit, you have to wait for price to come back below the pivots. Because again, this is the pattern that you're looking for. The pattern that you're looking for is you're looking for price to come below the pivots, retrace, come below, retrace, come below, retrace, etc. So like basically you're looking for entries whenever price retraces back up. Retrace, 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 of course. All right, so here's the thing here. Now that we have price pushing back up, if we get a buy signal right here, which is perfectly fine, this is exactly what you want. We'll look for price to push up, retrace, and then you can look for market flow entries to the buy side. The reason why I don't take trades after 7 is because of this specific reason. So you see how price here is now starting to consolidate and range sideways? This is why I stopped trading after 7, or why I decided to stop trading after 7. This is just temporary, so I'm just not trading right now after 7 because this is how the market moves during the summer season. As we go into the fall season, if the market starts to continuously move directional after 7 o'clock, then I will trade after 7. But right now, you have to adapt to the market conditions. So the market conditions right now, typically after 7 o'clock, is a sideways market. And this strategy doesn't work well in a sideways market. This strategy is meant to move in a direction, right? It has to move up or it has to move down. That's how the strategy works. So, being smart, you just don't trade when market is going sideways. And that's why right now I'm just not taking any trades. I'll look for entries for you. So like if we get an entry here, I know it's after 7 o'clock, but if we do see an entry, for example, price pushes up right here, we have the buy signal, climbs up, retrace, climbs up, retrace, climbs up, etc. If we get that, then in that situation, I'll identify an entry and I'll let you guys know. But the trend here still hasn't shifted yet. Basically, you're not looking for a full trend shift. You're just looking for the pivots over here, pivots 1 and 2 to cross pivots 3 and 4. So you just need this green and blue pivot to be above this red pivot, and then you can look for entry like right there. Because the trend's going to shift eventually. It's just you don't have to wait for the full shift. Basically, the leading indicators right here for the trend are going to be the green and blue pivots 1 and 2, and the lagging indicators over here are going to be pivots 3 and 4. As you can see over here, the heavy trend is these two colors, and the short trend are these two colors. So, like I said, we're just waiting for these two colors to cross above and climb up higher. Then you could look for entries right here down the middle. Otherwise, if we get a sell signal right here, and this sell signal looks like it's about to close, then we may have opportunity for entry to the downside. You just want to have some sort of direction. But again, this is, again, another example of like why I don't trade after 7 o'clock, because you can see how price isn't really going anywhere. It's just going back and forth, back and forth. And this is how you get trapped in a position, because price just continues to range within this area. All right, so if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Again, these are my profits for the day. So for the day so far, I locked in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 250 times 14 plus 2,800 plus 2,800 plus 22,775 plus 2275, 2,100 plus 2,100 plus 2,100. So 19,950 for that one trade. Again, I don't know what happened with these upper accounts, guys, so I wish I could explain that to you, but I wasn't looking at the copier at the time of entry. We got some more profits here from Johnny. Johnny locked in a profit of 3,725 on his first account and a profit of 1,380 on his second account right here for all wins. Nice work, Johnny. All right, so solid profits right there. And then, of course, my small loss over here that I mentioned for my top 7 count. So 19,950 total minus 1,463. So total profit of 18,487. This is including the loss. So my wins from my Apex accounts and my personal account plus my small loss here on the top step. There's my profit for the day. All right, so we'll continue looking for some entries here. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out in the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for some more opportunities here. Again, this is a sideways market. This is exactly what I was expecting from 7 o'clock. I'll look for some entries here, but not really expecting much to happen. So let me open up the clean chart real quick. So the range is basically between here. This is basically the price is currently ranging from. So there's not really too much going on here. Price is just kind of just ranging back and forth between this area. Which is what was expected. So if you kind of chop it up a little bit, so let's chop up 7 o'clock between 640. So this is where I took my entries from. 640. So this is perfect. See how price is moving between 640 and 7? This is what we wanted. We wanted price to come up, come down, come up, come down. This is why I stopped trading after 7, because there's no more direction. Price is just going back and forth. And also, this is why I don't trade between 630 and 640, because the first 10 minutes was kind of all over the place. See how price spiked down, came right back up. So you got to be smart about your entries, guys. I know everyone tries to take entries at all times, which is perfectly fine. If it fits your strategy and your trading style, then go ahead, trade whenever you need to. The breakout is meant for the breakout, and then obviously the my scalps happen right here where the market's the smoothest. And then at this point right here between 7 and 8, I'm not really expecting much to happen here. I'm expecting a bunch of range and consolidation movement. So there goes the clean chart. We'll keep looking for some opportunities here. There's no entries for us at the moment. We do have price starting to climb back up right here. So if it climbs up any further, we'll look for price to retrace back and continue climbing from there. But at this very moment, we just don't have anything here yet. All right. So still not nothing going. There's still nothing going on right now. I'm looking for either a sell signal to come up, or I'm looking for price to swing to the upside. But as of now, there's just nothing going on. Price is still going sideways. All right, nothing going on here, guys. So I kind of just dozed off for like a couple minutes there. Still nothing going here. Price is just going sideways. So again, another example of why we don't trade after 7 o'clock. Well, why I don't trade after 7 o'clock is because I just see this happen every single day. Bunch of nothing between 7 and 8. So I'll try to look for some more entries here, guys. But if nothing happens here between now and 8 o'clock, that or now and like maybe the next 10, 20 minutes, I'll probably wrap this up a little early. Um, there's just nothing here for us to really take away from the market direction. There's actually no direction here. Price is still going sideways. Here's a clean chart. It's just a little easier to see. It's just going sideways. So I have market structure here marked up. In order for us to take some buys, we need price to actually push up higher. Continue. In order for us to take some sells, we need price to drop lower and continue. We just don't have any of that right now. Here is the SR chart. Nothing going on here either. Oh, so here's one thing I wanted to mention to you guys. So price never came up and filled below. Again, this is still pending if anybody wants to take the session to session move. But one thing that I wanted to mention to you guys, this is going to be kind of a bigger announcement. I'll start calling. I'm testing out this strategy well, I'm not testing. It's the same strategy we've been using before, but it's now in the daily time frame. So what I'm doing here is I'm applying the V1 variation strategy, but on the daily time frame. So basically every day at 2 o'clock, I'm going to reopen the swing positions channel right here in the premium. I will so if you guys are in the premium and you guys want to take forex trades, I will call signals for them here. Basically, this is based off the daily candle. So every day at 2 o'clock or before 2 o'clock, the entries will be posted. Markets basically close between 1 and 2. So like for an hour, it'll be closed. And then at 2 o'clock, I'll post the signals over here for this trade. It's just something that I'm kind of messing around with at the moment. I'll basically go through my entire watch list here for forex, and then I'm going to be looking at these V1 variations. So basically one V1 variation per momentum. So like, for example, right here, we have this that's currently pending. Let me see if I can find an example of an entry. So let me go over here real quick. Sell signal. And the trend doesn't matter for this because this is a daily time frame. So we're just going based off momentum. So let me see if I can find an example of an entry here that did come up. It's really simple because it happens once a day. So the only reason I stopped trading forex is because I didn't want to be on the charts all day, but because we can trade on the daily, I could just be on the chart at 2 o'clock every day. I can go down my entire watch list and I can just give you guys my entry for that. So let's see, we get a buy signal here. Okay, so here's a perfect example. So say, for example, this was back on June 13th, right? June 13th, we had a buy signal here. So what I would be looking for here is just the V1 variation pattern. So I'm looking for a V1 variation pattern, still hasn't come up yet. Okay, right here we have a V1 variation pattern, right? So we have a buy signal. The trend doesn't matter, but we have a double body rejection right here. So at this point, I would enter a buy entry right here. Stop loss would be at the swing low, basically 70 points. From there, I'll let the trade run. It would take a while, so keep pushing through right here. Eventually, it would hit. So this is a swing trade. This is like legitimate swing trade. This trade would have been taken over here on the Wednesday, June 19th. You would hold on to this position for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. And then 10 days later, it would hit for 70 points. So that's basically the strategy that I'll be posting for signals. A lot of people have been asking if I can call signals again for forex. So I'll be posting them in the premium. So I'll post them in the premium here. Once the trade's been active for a while, I'll post them in the free chat, in the public chat, but for the most part, I'll post them here in the premium. So if you guys remember, I tried to start up this channel for swing trades a while back, and then I just stopped posting because it was too much work. Now I'm back to doing it right here. This is gonna be a lot easier because it's gonna be a set and forget. This entry over here was like kind of annoying for me to follow because I remember when we used to call these and I would have to follow it because the stop loss here would have to be dragged in profit, right? I don't like doing that because I don't like being on the chart every day, or I don't like being on the chart all day. This will be okay because I can just be on the chart every day at 2 p.m. I'll go down my entire watch list. I have about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have like 40 assets right here, 40 different forex pairs. With the exception of gold. I'm not going to trade gold. If you guys want to trade it, feel free, but I will be looking for entries over here for everything else. So basically right before 2 o'clock, maybe like around lunchtime, I'm just going to go down every single pair here. I'm going to see if I find any entries. And then if I have any entries, I usually have a flag on it. So for example, I have a flag on this because I was looking if this would close as a V1. And I would basically just call it the trade. So this trade right here is currently running. This one's been running since Monday. So Monday the 16th, this trade came up right here. There's a buy signal, double body rejection right here for a V1 variation. If you guys want to enter this late, I mean, it's still available if anybody wants to enter it. So the thing that you want to be careful for though is that the interest rate news is coming out later today at 11. So that interest rate news is going to cause a spike, whether to spike up or spike down. I think this will spike up, but I just wouldn't take any trades around the interest rate time because when the interest rate news comes out, it's gonna cause some crazy volatility in the market. All right, so back to the market over here. Sorry, guys, I think I missed an entry here. I'm not sure if anybody saw this right here, but I think there was an entry that came up from market flow. Here, let me go back real quick. No, I don't think there was an entry here. Or no, there was. Or let me check. Okay, so it looks like I might have missed this market flow entry right here. I mean, it was a very tricky entry. It just kind of came up very quickly. Sell signal right there. The entry would have happened right here at the 50 mark. Price came up, filled it, came back down. See if there's any more entries here. So the volatility here is still very low. I wouldn't recommend taking trades around this because you can see over here price is just going sideways. But I'll mark them up just if you guys are interested in still taking them. But realistically, you can see right here, there's nothing going on. Price is just going sideways. So it's not ideal for these types of entries because these entries are directional movements. So unless we get something like this, it's gonna be hard to take any buys. And if we don't get anything like this, it's gonna be hard to take some sells because you're not supposed to trade this strategy when price is going like this. All right, so there's still no entry here. In order for us to get an entry here for a sell, we need price to come back below the pivots, retrace up, come back down further. But there's just not much going on right here. So if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, Otherwise, we will continue looking for some opportunities here for entry. All right, so again, we need this to close below the pivots. Once this closes below the pivots, we can look for some possible opportunities here for entry. So again, we need this to close below the pivots, and we need it to drop a little bit further below. Like we need it to be down here. So when it retraces up, we can take entry at this level right there, the 50 mark. See, Brock said he had a break-even day, so he's on to the next. Yeah, no, definitely Brock. If you guys made any profit today, or you guys were even at break-even, I think that's ideal for a day like this, because you guys can see how a lot of market manipulation is happening. We already anticipated this to happen today before market opened. So when you took the breakout this morning, I mentioned there's probably gonna be manipulation. I wasn't expecting this big of a drop though. I was expecting a little bit of a drop and then a correction back up. But I can see why it's doing this, because it's going to keep dropping and just sitting down here until the news happens at 11 o'clock today with the interest rate news. Once the interest rate news comes out, you're probably going to see a spike again, but a correction back up eventually. Big bets being placed today for the interest rate news. All right, so I think what I'll do here is I will share this entry with you guys. So this will be the first entry that I'll be sharing over here under the swing positions channel. It's been a while since I posted anything here. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to get in for a discount, you guys can. So this right here is the entry price. Profit target. And this is, it's a set and forget type strategy. So you literally are just going to leave it alone and then let it do what it needs to do for the most part. It's for 112 points. Or 112 pips. All right, guys, I shared this with you guys here on the premium. So if you guys want to take it, feel free. If you guys want to enter now, you can do that and get in for a discount. Or if you want to just have a pending order, you can have the pending order. And then when it pushes through, it'll fill and push up to the next level right there. So these will typically be posted every day at about 2 o'clock. So every day at 2 o'clock, I'll be looking at that's when the daily candle closes. So on the daily candle over here, I'll look for that. And then you guys can take it if you want. I'll just share them on there. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to reopen my forex.com account, because you can't trade this on Apex. Just keep that in mind, guys. You can't trade any swing trades on Apex because they close you out at the end of day. So you can't can't take any of these specific entries on Apex or any futures broker for that matter. You have to use a forex broker. All right, guys, we got price coming back down right here. So looking at the current price right now, I wouldn't take entry right here at the 50. I'd probably wait for the next candle. So I wait for this next candle here to close. This is based off news right here. There's a news event at 7:30. It was the gas stock change. Usually it doesn't have a big impact on the market, but today it did. So I look for this candle here to close, and then possibly entry would happen right here at the 50 mark. But the pivots would have to be below. Okay, so be right there at the 50 mark now. CJ said the trend's starting to change. Yeah, it's starting to pick up a little bit based off the news. Looks like right there. So again, if you guys want to trade these forex entries, you'd have to use a forex broker, guys. You can't use Apex, unfortunately. I mean, it'd be nice if you use Apex. What I might look for is I might look for a prop firm that still trades forex that's like trustworthy. So I might find one that's trustworthy that trades forex and it allows you to swing trade, because these positions they'll be running for like days. So I mean, what you might have to do is just open a personal account if you want to take these forex trades, unless you have some sort of broker that allows you to hold like a swing type account. So I'll be sharing those entries. I have a pretty long watch list over here, so there's going to be a lot of opportunities that will be coming up all throughout the year. Again, this is on the daily chart, so this is you're probably not going to have an entry every day, but on some days you'll have a lot of entries that will be coming up. I just don't see anything here yet for right now. There might be an entry here for CAD JPY. If this ends up closing red, then this will be an entry right here. CHF JPY, same thing with this. GBP NZD is running right now. And then NZD JPY, if this candle closes red, there'll be a possible opportunity for entry right there as well. So there's only a couple here that have lined up. And they'll usually be called before too. So, all right, guys, the entry still hasn't filled here. The next opportunity for entry is going to be at the 40 mark for the market flow V2s. It's a question from Stanley. Stanley's asking, Sean, when setting parameters on Ninja, do you put ticks, price, pips, or currency? I'm not sure what you're asking for, Stanley. Well, where do you see that at? Because I'm not sure what you're asking about. I'm trying to look up. Let me see. Are you putting it under ATM strategy? Okay, so I think you're at the ATM strategy box, right? So for parameter type, I have it set to ticks. It's a GTC, good till closed. For the order quantity, that's where you put your contract size, and then your TP stop loss, that's like in points. I think that's what you're asking for, right, Stanley? Yeah. Okay. So for the ATM, um, I have it set to. So the parameter type is ticks, and then TIF is GTC, which is good till close. Those are the two that I have enabled on there. It's just the default setting, basically. Yeah, that way, when you have that set up, Stanley, whenever you enter a trade, whether it's market or you have a pending order, it's going to automatically place your TP stop loss every time. So you don't really have to put anything in there. Just make sure you save it as a template so that it stays that way. I stopped using the trailing stop loss feature, guys. I started getting some errors with it. I think that's what happened with my trade over here. I mean, it worked in my favor, but I don't want to have that issue running up in the future. So I think that's what happened with my trades here. Like my 7 accounts here, for some reason, the trailing stop kind of like triggered something and it didn't close. And that's why I turned it off. I'm just gonna keep it at 10 and just get in and out at 10. It's just easier that way. All right, so there's another opportunity right here. We're moving it back down to the 20. Or actually, I'll put it up over here at the 30. Stanley is asking, what is ask and bid? So ask and bid is whatever the ask and bid price is at. So if you buy at market, you're gonna buy, if you buy or sell at market, you're gonna buy at the exact price. If you buy or ask, where you buy or sell at the ask price or the bid price, that's gonna be what the ask and bid price is. So I don't know if you can do this up here, Stanley. So you see these numbers up here? This would be the ask, this would be the, I think the ask price is the red number, and then the bid price is the green number. So like if you hit ask, if you hit buy ask, then you're only going to get in at this price. But if you hit market, you're going to get in right away. So that's the difference between bid and ask. It's basically the difference between a spread. Because you can see there's a 1.2 point spread. Odds are it's probably going to get triggered, but it'll trigger it in a way that it only fills if it reaches that certain price. So I think this might have hit already, guys. I'm not sure if anybody took this, so I marked this up as the market flow V2. We had price down here. I mean, it looks like if you're still in the position, it's probably going to hit again. But basically, it looks like it already hit. So looking at this here, I only know that because there's a marker right here whenever I hover over it. So I think what happened is price came up, triggered it, came back down to full TP. The reason why we had the entry over here is because the whole number was too low below the pivot. This was the closest one above it. So this right here, again, is another reason why I don't really like to trade after 7 o'clock because this happens. You get manipulation. You either get a sideways market, and then when price starts to actually move, you start to get some manipulation. So price goes sideways for a while, comes down for a breakout, and then it gets manipulated around the area. CJ said he canceled it because of the momentum signal, which is smart. I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing, but you can see for these market flow entries, they happen very quickly. Like they get triggered and they go straight to TP like within a second. And that's what I like about the strategy. The strategy is so it's so intuitive where like you don't really have to do anything. You just have your pending order waiting there. And then basically it comes and fills. Let me see if I replay it real quick if it went back. So like basically the reason why the order would have been right here was because of the pivot. So the pivot was down here, but the order should typically be at the whole number before the pivot. If it's like right at the line, then okay, you can take it right there. But if it's not, you'd have it right here at the one before it. It's usually going to be between the pivot 1 and 2. So it looks like this candle here pushed up and then it filled it right away. So looking at that candle there, you see how it started off as a small red candle? So it looks like it pushed up, filled, hit TP, and then it shot back up with the buy signal. And that's basically how that entry right there came up. I mean, either way, if you're still holding on to it, it looks like it's probably coming back down, but not in the position. So let's see. Oh, man. There's not really much going on here. It looks like price is going back into the range. So here's the clean chart. I marked up the range earlier. Price is still respecting the range. So I marked this up pretty much when the market opened up. Initially, it was just these two levels. And then now price is kind of just ranging in between both. There's not really too much going on here. So yeah, if there's any more questions that you guys have, feel free to pop into the chat. We currently have a buy signal right here. In order for us to have entries here for a buy, we need price to actually push above and climb up higher from there. And then if price does retrace back, we can take entry somewhere around there, right? But because we don't have that, there's just no entries for us here to take at the moment. In order for us to take some sells, we need to have a sell signal. We need price to come back below, bounce up, come back down further. But until we get that, there's no entries that are going to be available here for a sell. Like I said earlier, guys, I think my sweet spot from like my testing is between 640 and 7. I showed you guys earlier the reason why, because that's typically where the volatility is more consistent. From 630 to 640, typically there's a lot of manipulation for the breakout movement, and then it smoothens out between 640 and 7, and then from there, it starts to go sideways between 7 and 8. So this is, again, another reason, another example why I don't trade after 7. And this is only temporary. So just keep that in mind, guys. This is like what's been happening pretty much every day for the summer season. I've been burnt too many times here on the past 7 o'clock side. So in order for me to just have more consistency with my trades, I'm just trading between 640 and 7 for now. That's just for now. Over the next couple of weeks, next week is the first official week of September, I believe. With that around the corner, we might have more consistency in the market. So if we have more consistency in the market and this doesn't happen after 7 o'clock, then I'll keep looking for entries after 7. But at this very moment, you can see here, this is the main reason why I don't trade after 7. Because you guys can see here, price is just going back and forth. This isn't good for our strategy. If you want to take some market flows, you need price to climb up, retrace, climb up, retrace, climb up, retrace. And then you'll be taking your entries every time price retraces, right? Price retraces. Price retraces. It's never going to be this smooth, but basically this is what you're looking for. So if you're looking for buys, that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for sells, you're going to look for the opposite. Right? Price retraces, your pending order gets filled. Price retraces, your pending order gets filled. Price retraces again, and your pending order gets filled. So that is basically, what we're looking for here. All right, guys, there's not much happening here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up for the day, guys. Let me make this, I think it's locked right now. All right, so yeah, this is a private channel, but you guys can get on now. Okay, you're good. All right, yeah, so if you guys want to look at the Forex trade, you guys can see it. I just made the channel open to you guys here who are in the premium. So if you guys are in the premium, you guys can see it right there. I'll share it in the public group a little later, but obviously I want to give you guys a heads up if you guys are here in the premium. So let's see, question from Stanley. Stanley's asking, how do I do a sell stop or a buy stop? So there's a couple different ways to do it, Stanley. In order for you to do that, I think the easiest way is to open up your chart. So open up the chart window, and I think that's where you had open already, right? I'm not sure if you had it open already on NinjaTrader. The easiest way to do it is to set a pending order. So I can't show you my screen here, but basically, if you wanted to set an order like right here, for example, like say, the whole number, like what I'm doing. So for example, if you wanted to set an order right here for like say a buy, right? If price was come down and retrace and you wanted to enter right here at 940, you just go to 940, right click. And then when you right click on NinjaTrader at that specific price, you're gonna have a bunch of options right there. It'll say buy limit at certain price. What you can do a lot of times is you can just put your buy limit somewhere like really low, and then you can drag that to whatever price you're trying to get to. That's probably gonna be the easiest way to do it. That's typically what I do sometimes. Like I'll put the order like way down here. You click and drag it, and then you can drop it to where you need it to be. And then you got your ATM set up already. So once that entry fills, your automatic TP stop loss will come up, and then you'll be at that position at that specific price, and then you'll have your TP stop loss already set up like that for you. So everything's pretty much done automatically. That's the easiest way to do it. Another way to do it is to the other window would be basic. Let me see. If you click new and you go to basic entry, there's another way to do it right there if you want to put in like the specific numbers. But I think the chart's going to be easier because you can just drag and drop. Like you can set your order anywhere on the chart. Like for example, if you want to sell stuff up here, you can just put a random sell stop anywhere up here. A line will come up. Once that line comes up, you can drag and drop it. You just pick it up and then drop it where you want it. Same with the other way. So if you do a buy stop, it'll be up here. If you do a buy limit, it'll be down here. And you can just keep dragging that back and forth wherever you want to put it. Yeah, no problem, Stanley. Once you figure out how everything works on NinjaTrader, I think you're gonna like it. It's way easier. It's way easier to enter your trades, and I think the fact that they got that ATM feature is like the biggest game changer because you don't gotta put the TP stop loss, and then your contract size is already set. So. All right, guys, it's about to be close to 8 o'clock. There's not really much going on here, so I think I'm going to wrap this up a few minutes early. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. There's just nothing going on here. And then just keep in mind, guys, that the heavy news is coming up over here at 11 o'clock. I don't recommend anybody trade during that time. That news is going to be crazier than like NFP. You're going to see pretty big spikes. It's probably be manipulated super heavily on both sides. And it's something you don't want to be stuck in. So. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here again tomorrow doing the same thing, looking for the breakouts, looking for the scalps, and hopefully the market tomorrow will not be as crazy as it's going to be pretty crazy, honestly. I think it's going to be pretty crazy regardless of the fact. So we'll be looking for that as we get closer here to the end of the week. So again, guys, later today, we have the interest rate news here at 11 o'clock. It's going to be pretty big. They're going to be releasing all the news, the Fed minutes and stuff like that. Then tomorrow morning, we're going to have like the reaction to the news. So you're going to get a reaction right here at 11, and then you're going to have a bigger reaction tomorrow. So we have some high impact news tomorrow at 5:30, initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims. This is already going to cause high impact in the market. And then on top of that, we're going to have the reaction to the interest rate news, which obviously is going to be bullish. So that's the thing. Because everybody knows it's going to be bullish, that's where it's going to become super risky because they're not just going to make it super easy where anybody can just take a buy and just randomly make a ton of money in the market, right? They're going to spike people out. So they're probably going to push price up initially, come back down, come back up, come back down, and then shoot up after. So if you do trade at 11, just make sure to wait for the reaction. Don't just enter right away. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. Yeah, Stanley said, can I trade during that? You can trade during that. I would just be super careful because depending on like where your TP stop loss is and your contract size, because of the trailing drawdown, if it pushes up, so for example, Stanley, you entered a trade, it pushes up and then it comes back down super hard and your contract size is high, even though you haven't closed out the position yet, you can still get stopped out and it'll still blow your account. So I would only take trades like that. Yeah, I mean, it's 35 bucks. Yeah, you could do that, Stanley. You can trade news during your eval phase. Hopefully, if you do that, it spikes up. So hopefully it just spikes in one direction because then you'll just pass your eval in like one move, right? The contract size, if you're on a 300K count, you need 117 points. That's how many points you need to get that to 20K with one trade. So it's not a crazy move. If it spikes in that direction, at least like just very quickly, you can probably hit your TP right away, be one and done with that challenge, and then be funded already. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys want to test your hand at that, feel free. Again, it's 117 points. If you're trading a 300K account, it's 117 points for YM. Same with NQ as well. Stevenson, Sean, interest rate news is like the Powerball. Buying my tickets now. Right? Yeah, Steven. It's your time. It's your time to shine right now. Buy as many Powerball tickets as you can. All right, guys. So I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. Also, if you guys want to look at these forex trades, go ahead and take a look at them. I will be posting any other entries if they do come up later at 2 p.m. today. So this trade's running GBP NZD. NZD JPY may be an entry if this comes back down red. Same with CHF JPY. If this closes red, it'll be a possible entry. And same with CAD JPY. So there's about 1, 2, 3, 4 entries that are possibly going to be posted later today at 2 o'clock. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right.